This current generation Honda HRV came out for 2023 model year, and I've already done a review of a sport trim level, which is the middle of the line. Now I'm back here at Hendrick Honda of Bradenton, Florida, checking out this very base trim. Nothing has been added to this vehicle. This is an LX two-wheel drive, and for the base MSRP of just over $25,000, I believe it presents a ton of value for the money with a lot of standard features and equipment. And I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle, starting right up front, checking out the engine, going around, talking about the technology, see how much space is inside of this vehicle, and finally at the end of this video I'm going to take you for a spin together. So if you like watching videos like this, don't forget to give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell notification ring bell so you won't miss any of the content that's coming out. To say that the subcompact SUV segment is busy would be an understatement. Tons of new vehicles that just came out, were redesigned, upgraded, etc. Let's just name a few of them, and I'll probably won't even mention all of them. Mazda CX-30, Hyundai Kona, Kia Niro, Kia Seltos, Toyota Corolla Cross, Subaru Crosstrek, Dodge Hornet, Buick Envista, just to name a few of them. Now let's see what Honda has to offer. I purposely chose this base LX trim to see what's standard on this vehicle and if it offers the great value for the money. Now let's start with the shape of this vehicle. Somebody told me recently that it kind of looks like a Lamborghini Urus, and I can't get it out of my head. I can see a little bit of a resemblance. Let me know what you think in the comment section. We're not going to talk about performance, of course, but just the overall shape of this vehicle. Let's take a look. Well, standard equipment, even on this base trim level, includes the LED daytime running lights and the LED headlights. And if you scroll down here, you'll see that you have the open air curtains to help with the aerodynamics and performance, as well as you have this open grille right in the middle, big Honda logo, and that is pretty much what's in the front. Let's pop the hood and let's see what powers up this thing. So the only engine option for 2024 Honda HRV is this naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that produces 158 horsepower and 138 foot-pounds of torque. It is mated to a CVT transmission, so as you can probably tell, it is not going to be a speed demon. It is actually quite efficient as far as the gas mileage, and we'll get to it while driving. Now, one thing to mention too, it's kind of disappointing because Honda offers this vehicle with a hybrid engine in other parts of the world, so I wish maybe we'll see it in the next year or two. You do have sound insulation underneath the hood, so it should make for a nice and quiet ride, and a prop stick, but this seems to be a standard in this class of vehicles. So as we move to the side of this vehicle, let's take a look at the shape and the design of it. I like it, but it's very subjective whether you like it or not. Let me know in the comment section below. I think it's a pretty clean and sporty look on this. Now, even on this base LX trim, you'll find the standard 17-inch alloy wheels. 215/60 is the size of the tires. You also have this black surroundings of the wheel wells, and the same trim continues at the very bottom below the doors. Now the window surroundings are blacked out as well. Mirror cap is the same color as the rest of the vehicle. You won't find the blind spot assist on the LX trim or the smart entry system. You can of course open it with the remote, but it does not have sensors in it. It does have, however, plenty of safety equipment, the Honda Sensing suite of features that includes the adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking system, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation, and the traffic jam assist. And as we move around the back, again, this is probably my favorite part of this vehicle as far as the design. I actually like the lights a lot. They're fully LED taillights. And if you look inside of them, let's check this out. They're kind of blacked out inside, and you have, of course, the LED taillights, brake lights, reverse lights, and the turn signals. And big Honda logo right in the middle. Standard is the rear view camera, which I believe is a requirement on all the vehicles in the US right now. You have the reflector lights, no visible exhaust, exposed wiper, and the third brake light right on this gate spoiler. Now there's no automatic gate on the LX trim, but it's really nice and light to open. And on the inside, you'll find the leading in its class roominess with over 23 cubic feet of storage inside. And you also have illumination right here, 12-volt outlet, 60-40 split on the seats, and underneath the floorboard right here find a little bit more storage. And if you're looking for a spare tire, you'll actually find it right underneath here as well. Now the seats can be folded down, further expanding the roominess to over 51 cubic feet. So if you need to carry something, you can definitely do that. Now let's start the interior tour with the rear door panel. A lot of hard plastic. The only padded area is the armrest. A bit of storage and the speaker, and that completes the door panel. No seat back pocket in by the driver's seat, but there is one in the passenger. And if you look at the seating configuration, it does have 3 seat belts in the back. I'm going to jump in there in just a little bit. I sat in them before, and I got to tell you, this is a nice combination, kind of a balance between comfort and sturdiness of the seats. I like the fabric, I like the design, so no complaints here. What I would like to see is some connectivity in the back, maybe a USB Type-C. I know that would be a hard ask, but you know, if there were any vents in the back, that would definitely help to keep the rear occupants more comfortable. And a very, very slight, almost not noticeable bump in the middle. The seats fold down 60-40. There's no cup holders here, other than, of course, the one in the door, if you can fit something in there. And before we jump inside, let's take a listen to the sound of the closing door. No complaints here. As far as the front door panel, do we have anything different? As far as the material, right here on top, we have a little bit more of soft plastic material. Window mirror lock controls, padded armrest, bit more storage underneath, and the speaker. Talking about the stereo, it comes standard with a 4-speaker stereo. Once we get to the highest trim level, you get the upgraded stereo as well. As far as the seats, manual adjustments on both driver and passenger seats. Seats are nice, comfortable. It kind of holds you in place with those bolsters on at the sides. And right here, you have a tiny little bit of storage, kind of a bridge over here. We'll take a detailed look in it. I just want to point out that it's there, and it does have the USB Type-C port. Now let's jump inside. I'll show you the rest of it. Well, some might call this interior simple but functional, and let's see what features we have that are standard on this vehicle as far as the design of it. I love this honeycomb trim. This is the same as you'll find on the Honda Civic, and it has the vents that are kind of hidden behind it. You also have this soft touch material here, hard plastic right on top of the dashboard. That's nothing unusual about it. You also have the push button start, so let's get this started and let's see what's happening here. As far as the steering wheel, I think it could be a little bit thicker, just my personal preference. There's no leather wrapping or anything like this on this base trim level. You do have, however, plenty of controls on both sides. You have the cruise control and the dynamic cruise control on one side, and you have the volume, source, home, and voice activation on the other side. And as far as the instrument cluster, let's see what's going on here. So you have the digital instrument cluster. Let me take a look and see what's available here. As far as the home screen, you can see that it's changing inside of this tachometer right here. We can go through the different trip levels, range and fuel, speed and time, driver attention, seat belts, maintenance, safety support, and no content. Go back to brightness settings, gauge display settings, warnings. So several different customizable options that are available in here. Overall, a very classic look. On the right hand side, speedometer, tachometer. On the left hand side, you have everything that you need to be displayed here, including your fuel level, your temperature, and your odometer, and which mode you're in. So by the way, you do have the modes in here. You have the Snow, Econ, and Normal, and I'm going to leave it in normal mode for my test drive here later on. Now, as far as the infotainment system, this is standard 7-inch screen. If you go with the highest trim level, the EXL, you'll get a 9-inch screen on this, and there's really nothing special about this. It has some functionality of it. You can connect your phone via Bluetooth, but if you do need to have the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you actually need the cable in order to do that. So here's as far as your shortcuts here. Here's for your phone. I don't have my phone connected to it. As far as the radio, you have the AM and FM features. I don't see the Sirius XM, so you probably won't get this in here. And of course, as far as the media, I can connect any of the playing device. And if you want to connect your phone for the Android Auto, you need to have the USB cable. You also have the menu button right here, and you can scroll down through different settings. And this is your volume button and power button, so you have to go through here, and these are basically your settings here. So nothing really out of the ordinary in here, but you have some customization. Now this is where Toyota and Honda are kind of behind the competition, because the Korean manufacturer Hyundai and Kia are actually going with the 10.25-inch screens on their vehicles that have a very robust infotainment system. So if you're a tech gadget, you won't find it at the Honda. But again, simple, functional, you have pretty much everything in here. One thing to check out is also the rear view camera. So standard Honda rear view camera with 3 different angles here, and you do have trajectory lines, and they are active. You won't find the active trajectory lines in Toyota for some reason, but you'll find it at Honda. As soon as I move the steering wheel, the lines move with it. Put it back in park, and scrolling down below, you have the hazard lights and the automatic climate control. And unfortunately, again, this is a single zone climate control, which I know some of the competitors offer dual zone climate control. I mean, again, you can set it and forget it if you like to, but if you're operating on different temperatures with your partner, that might be an issue. You have the USB type A port, a little bit of a storage or shelf here, and the cup holders, regular gear shifter. This is where you switch your gears. You have your hill descent control, electronic parking brake, and the brake hold. So that allows you to, once you press this and then you depress the brake, let's hit the light, that's going to hold the vehicle in place until you hit the accelerator. Now what else is here? Regular gear shifter. So you have the parking, reverse, neutral, drive, sport, and a low. And maybe I'm going to try it in sport, see if it makes any difference. So this is the interior of it. Let's take a quick look at the mirror. No home link system, nothing too crazy as far as this. You have the indication that the passenger airbag is off, and then you have your light controls. And as far as the vanity mirrors, you have vanity mirrors that are not illuminated on this vehicle. So this is what you get with the standard LX trim. Let's see how it drives. So guys, before we take it around the neighborhood, let's take a look at the different trim levels and pricing that's available for 2024 model year. It starts at the LX 24.1 basic MSRP plus the destination charge will put you over $25,000. 25,650 starting MSRP for the sport version, 27,650 for the EXL. So what do you get on the sport that you don't get on this? So you get the 18-inch aluminum wheels, you get the smart entry system, you also get the remote engine start, and you'll get the heated front seats. Now EXL would add the leather seats, parking sensors, driver seat adjustments with 8-way power adjustment, dual zone climate control, 9-inch display, audio with touchscreen. So now let's see what the difference in price is. It is about $3,500 difference between the cheapest and the most expensive one. So if this is not enough for you, you can definitely go for the Sport or the EXL. Now I think the EXL is still at 27.6 is a lot less expensive than some of the fully equipped competitors, because with Honda it's a little bit different. Now, most of the manufacturers are package or option driven. With Honda it's simple. It's an LX, Sport, and an EXL in this case, and they come pre-equipped with tons of standard features. Now you can add some individual options, but you'll very rarely find packages to be added on. Like with Hyundai, there's a convenience package, same thing with the Kia. Now with Toyota, there's tons of different packages that you can choose from, so make sure that if you are shopping for vehicles like this, that you compare apples to apples, not just the Toyota Corolla Cross to the Honda HRV LX, but see what's standard on each of them, and you might be surprised sometimes. Now let's take it for a spin. Now, unfortunately, you won't be able to see anything from this camera, thanks GoPro, for not being a reliable camera again, but we're gonna take it right here. First of all, I want to kind of let you know what the feel is of this vehicle, and as far as the turning radius, turn the steering wheel right here. No surprise there. Turns on the dime. A very, very good turning radius, very tight. You know, as far as the suspension, I like it. It's actually, you know, and there's no surprise here at all either. You know, with Honda being a little bit stiffer in general than Toyota, this suspension delivers a really nice combination of that softness yet, and you still feel like you're very much in control of this vehicle. So there's not much body roll that's going on in here. Now let's go over the speed bump here. Absorbs it really nicely as well. Now let's take it on the road for a quick lap around the neighborhood, and let's see what we have. So as far as the visibility, it has a large windshield, it has big windows on the side, very little obstructions, and of course if you look in the back, you'll notice that there's an extra windows in the corners that you know, gives you that definitely a better visibility and reduces the blind spot on this vehicle. Now the blind spot assist is not available on the LX model. It's only available in the Sport and the EXL trim level, so if that's something important to you, that's also something to keep in mind as well. All right, so the quick acceleration check. Now in this case, I have to agree with some of the reviewers that both filmed the review of the HRV and some of the write-ups that I've seen, that this acceleration almost feels like it's very lethargic. And I am, maybe if I put it in Sport drive here, it's going to be a little bit better. As a matter of fact, I'm going to check this out in just a second to see if there's any difference here. Let's put it right here. Let's put it in the Sport mode here. I'm going to stop Sport and let's go. Okay, we got it up to 50. Yeah, we kind of need a little help here, Honda. I don't know if it's the CVT transmission or, you know, a little bit more powerful engine. Now, the 158 horsepower, it is kind of in between. I mean, you'll get slightly more horsepower on the Toyota Corolla Cross. I believe it's 169, or if you go with the hybrid, you'll get like 196. You get quite a bit more horsepower on that. With the Hyundai Kona, the base ones are going to be slightly below this. It's 147 if I'm not mistaken, but you'll get 190 on the top of the line trims, the N-Line and the Limited, and then you of course get a lot more horsepower on like a turbo Mazda CX-30 or Dodge Hornet. You get less horsepower like Buick Envista, Chevy Trax, they're like 137. So definitely in this segment there's a lot of vehicles, and you know, they deliver different of course performance aspects of this, but I think I would like to see definitely a better performance out of this vehicle. Now, as far as the rest of it, as far as the features, as far as the roominess of this vehicle, this is great. This is great grocery getter, all around town vehicle. The acceleration, if it was better, you know, I don't think it's dangerous with this vehicle to try to merge in traffic. It's not that bad. It's probably about mid 9 seconds though. So comparing to some of the, you know, 7 seconds cars, that's a big difference. And there is some noise that's coming inside of the cabin, of course, while accelerating. There's no gear shifts. There's no ability to even do the simulated gear shifts on this vehicle. So this is the only drawback so far that I see. And as far as the gas mileage, 26 in the city, 32 on the expressway, and no hybrid engine available. I think Honda's missing out on this, on the opportunity, especially that they already have a vehicle that is powered by the hybrid engine that is straight out of the Accord hybrid, which I think would be a great addition to the lineup. They can easily raise the price a little bit, get a little bit better gas mileage and a better performance, and I think people will definitely appreciate that. Well, you know, let me know what you think, guys, as far as this vehicle. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What would you choose instead? And thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you learned 1 or 2 things. And if you did, then I've done my job. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give me a like, and turn on that bell notification ring bell so you won't miss any of the videos that are coming out. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.